I'm here with Richard Clarke of Fujitsu, Global Business Development Head, and I'm really appreciative of you taking the time, Richard, to come
nice
here.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to New York and welcome to yet another NRF.
Thank you.
So as you come here to this big show, what is top of mind for you? What are you thinking about when you think about NRF 2020?
What I think about is we've got hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of people in this auditorium, all looking for innovation. They're all looking for the ways in which they can bring new technologies to service their customers, their end customers. But at the same time, as one of the key vendors in the industry, our challenge is how we help them move from the old to the new world.
Right.
And that's a real challenge they have today.
Now, you've been at this for a while, right?
Yeah.
Fujitsu is a big brand globally. You've worked with the largest retailers in the world.
Yeah.
And it seems like we seem to go through cycles of innovation.
Yeah.
And then big words like transformation.
Yes.
What does that mean for you? What does transformation mean for you and your customers today?
Okay. What it doesn't mean is just installing a lot of technology and then you call yourself a transformed business. For me, it's about business outcomes. So if I'm a specialty retailer, I'm a grocery retailer, I know very clearly what my customers want. They may want to have a frictionless checkout experience where they don't have to stand in line for 30 minutes to pay for their goods, or they may want to have advice at the point of selection in a specialty store. That's the outcome that digital transformation should be working to. So actually, it could be several outcomes. It should be several definitions for digital transformation. Now, what it does mean, yes, definitely bringing the value of mobile solutions and technologies, AI and IoT to put really great information in the hands of end users, or to take your systems today and put them on the cloud to make it more agile, so you can bring data together and create new experiences to the customer. So technology is important, but it's an enabler. So to answer your question, transformation for me is the outcome for the end consumer.
Now, you probably work with a lot of legacy infrastructures, for lack of a better word, right?
Yes.
Where technology has been built over decades and decades.
Yes.
And as you try to get them to truly transform, you're probably going to see challenges.
Yes.
Just because you have to work with technology that has been there for a long, long time.
Correct.
In that situation, do you recommend people doing something that might be seen as like a parallel self-disruption exercise to put up a technology stack? Is that an approach that you think might work?
I think what I find is that you have to break it down into bite-sized chunks. I think every CEO wakes up and is just very nervous about transforming their business by throwing everything up in the air, changing systems overnight, putting people into new roles, bringing in new technologies. Excuse me. What I think is important is to understand what's the outcome you're looking for. So what's the customer journey? Start there, and then work back and say, okay, we want to provide this new service to our customers. What does it mean for the legacy infrastructure? What does it mean for new technologies? And take it one step at a time. So I'm a strong believer in growing incrementally rather than big bang, because I think there's enormous risks that you put to the business.
You know, another overused word, just like transformation, is omnichannel.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about how you are approaching omnichannel experiences, how you are helping your retailers to deal with the expectations of customers in the omnichannel world.
Exactly. So omnichannel, I think, has acquired it's a simple definition of just you can have everything you want wherever you want it. And of course, that's what most retailers would like to do. You can buy on your phone, you can buy on a mobile, you can pick something up in store. But essentially it comes down to, if you're a retailer in a grocery, you've probably got 2 or 3 use cases around omnichannel. It might be the customer buys online, but then you want to pick it up curbside at the store.
Right.
So for us, it's focusing on particular use cases. What's important then is to understand information, data. All these services happen because you connect the customer's information online, their order, to the touch point where they pick it up in the store. And that's the most important about omnichannel. It's not about buying a system off the shelf from a vendor when it's all in a nice box.
Yeah.
You've got to create it piece by piece, and data and the management of the data and the connection via APIs and the like and connectors of old systems to new systems is what it's all about. And that's why actually in my world we've always talked about POS and POS solutions, because that's what retailers use. You know, what you see on the register when you turn up at a store to buy something. Now the magic and the value add happens in the enterprise,
right,
where you're bringing all that information together and creating one transaction engine, irrespective of whether it's originated on a mobile device and then completed in store.
Right.
And that's where we're playing. We have a solution called Fujitsu Marketplace, which does that and provides that capability to the retailer.
Let's talk about data for a minute, right? We know that retailers have tremendous high quality data, a lot of different types of data which only they have, right? Who's buying it, what are they buying, at what price point, how much of it are they buying, was it discounted, where is the store,
exactly.
What else did they buy with it, is there a pattern? And as you start looking at the potential for this, and this is data that most other folks down the chain don't have or they can't own, are you seeing that now compared to say 5 years ago, right? One, there is availability of tools and technologies to do something actionable with that data. Part one. And part two, obviously with data, there are concerns about privacy and concerns about who owns that data, and there's more regulation in different parts of the world. How do you see these two forces, the availability of technologies to deal with data, but more scrutiny on how data is used? Is there something you can share about that?
What I'm seeing most clearly is the availability of real-time data, because that gives a competitive advantage to any retailer on the shop floor or in the warehouse to be able to act very immediately to a customer situation or demand. So in terms of IoT, capturing information immediately from RFID or from other in-store systems and turning that into information very quickly to put into the hands of a store manager. It may be about the weather's changing, so your checkout allocation is going to need to change because you've got more people coming in, whatever it might be. That's definitely giving added value advantage to retailers who can capture that information in store and turn it into information. But at the same time, as we just acquire more and more data, obviously there is a real risk of data paralysis. And I think the smart retailers are moving away from big industrial data crunching machines in HQ, and they're doing more on the edge. And they're selecting the particular use cases, the particular areas where they need information. It might be about inventory in store, and they're saying, that's all we need. I don't want everything else, and so I just want this, give this to me real time, and I want it in the hands of my store managers real time. So I think there's a case of prioritization and sort of selecting out the information and move to the edge so that you don't have to batch overnight and wait for the report to come the next day. That's too late, and it's likely to be too, the actual insight will be too invisible in the report. It's got to be very selective, and it's got to be fast, and it's got to be on the edge. And I think that's where the smart retailers are moving.
That's great insight, so thank you for sharing that. One last question for you as we wrap up. You see this conference growing, right? You probably come here many, many times. If there is one thing that people should take away about Fujitsu from NRF 2020, what would that one thing be?
I think it's about I would say two things, if I may. One is about scalability. I think where we've always played and where I believe our customers work with us is that we can take some really important innovation and we can extend it, scale it out, and make it real for across the rest of your organization. I think the second key takeaway, it's the integration between software and then the service to deliver it. There's no point installing a great piece of software if you can't deliver it and make it run and support it. And I think, as an organization, as an industry, I've been in the industry over 30 years, we'll always have innovations every year. But when you look at the results recently in the festive period, the ones that still do well are the ones that really know how to deliver for their customers at the end of the day. And that's a combination of technology and service, and that's where we play. We won't have the IP for every innovation in the world. Where we're strong is taking our IP and delivering it really robustly and delivering that value at the end of the day so that you have more happy customers who are spending more in the store.
Wonderful. Richard, thank you so much for taking the time.
Nice to meet you.
I hope you have a great show.
Thank you.